Like that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome back. All right. So he is here. Let me send him a request. Hey everyone, how y'all doing? It's Pisces season. Hey, what's going on?
Peace, peace, peace. What's going on, beloved?
I'm excited to be here. It's a new day,
Yes.
so
Can you hear me good?
yes, we can hear you good.
Okay, okay, okay. Hold
How
on one
y'all
second. Let
doing?
me.
Yes, look at the
I'm
love.
doing well. I'm doing well. How's your Monday?
My Monday, I just woke up from a nap, so I'm feeling just like
Okay.
I'm feeling like a fresh fish out of water, like a Pisces. Okay.
Right, right.
How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good as always. All praises to Allah. I'm well,
Yes.
healthy, strong.
Shukran.
But yes, yes. Let me get my audio and everything up and running. I'm going to
Okay.
do the introduction,
Okay.
and then I'm going to introduce you, and then we can get it started.
Okay. Oh, I love the beautiful people. Welcome in, everyone.
Word, indeed, indeed. All right, hold on, you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Thanks for joining.
Welcome to DTR 360 Books Podcast. DTR 360 Books. We're helping to increase reading literacy. We are here to create more doers and less talkers. This is where we execute the knowledge and put it into action. Enjoy this week's episode of the podcast. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, shalom, hotep, Islam, alafia, peace. What's going on, family? Oh man, it's your brother Quasi. We are back with DTR 360 Books podcast. We have a very, very special guest here tonight. But first, as always, we want to get into the logistics and get into a few housekeeping items. Please, please, if you are new to the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are now past 500, so we want to get up to 1,000 subscribers, and I believe we can do that before Easter. Yes, before April, we can definitely get up to 1,000 subscribers. So just go to youtube.com and type in DTR 360 Books. Also, we are on Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and any other podcast platform that you listen to. Again, just go to your favorite podcast outlet and type in DTR 360 Books. Man, happy Monday. I'm so glad to see all of these beautiful people joining us here tonight. Man, we have the very special, talented, beautiful sister here with us tonight. Sister RosZella. How are you, beloved?
Hi, I am doing well. I'm so excited to be here. Hi, everyone in the chat room. Hey, it's lit.
Yes. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for accepting the invite, especially on a short notice. I really appreciate that, and we are about to go into it. I've known you for a while now, right?
Yes.
And I don't think we even had a good in-depth conversation. So
Hmm.
hopefully, inshallah, we will definitely get into that. Know a little bit more about you, and then vice versa, you can learn a little bit more about me and my business and what I have going on.
Yes.
Um, so let's get started. So I always like to start out the podcast um, with again knowing a little bit about the interviewee. whoever I'm interviewing. So tell us a little bit about your background and what was your upbringing like.
So yes. So my background, well, let's start with as above, so below. I am Aquarius sun, okay, Sagittarius rising, Pisces moon. So I feel like it is my birthday, my season during this time. And below, I was born in Brooklyn, but I was raised in the Bronx in Harlem. And so I'm an all New York girl, straight New York. I definitely teach math. I'm a math teacher. I've been teaching now in New York City for 7 years. I started teaching as a way to break free. I feel like I was working for companies that wasn't giving me that feeling of being a service. And I wanted to be a service to my community. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just start teaching. And I just never stopped. So now I teach math, 7th grade. And it is a pleasure, and it also can be a lot of energy. Um, I'm also a sacred woman, so my master teacher is Queen Afua, and I've worked with her, and I've like took in her lessons and what she taught me, and created my own circle in New York City. And overall, I'm just like a medicine woman. I love conducting ceremonies for women and men. I work with heavily with magic mushrooms. Definitely work with people for 3 or 4 hours in time spans, one-on-ones. Definitely love doing energy readings. I'm an energy reader. Working with the hands, working with the energy fields.
So
Uh,
you do Reiki as well?
so I don't do Reiki, but I will lay my hands on you. So, I don't do I guess I won't say Reiki, but I do know how to cultivate chi in my hands and lay it on areas, or use like beads to figure out which area of your body or chakra point just needs a little boost or a tune up. But I don't separate a lot of things that I do as well, and sometimes I don't have a name for what I do. There's so many different things that I do, like I don't even have, like, it's all in this one capsule. But overall, I think I would say for the most I am a service to myself and then to others. And I'm just a teacher. I love teaching. Everything that I learn, I can teach it.
Right, right. Wow, wow. Definitely, yes. We are about to go into, asking some questions about you being a sacred woman, Queen of Four. I have most of her books
Yes.
here. I have the updated version, 20th anniversary of the Sacred Woman.
Yes.
Man, I just love Queen of Four. I just love her, and I love all of my elders that is still doing the work. At a certain point, uh, some of us, well, some of our elders, I know a couple, when they get to a certain age, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna just leave it up to the youth. I'm gonna just
Right.
leave it up to the children. They can carry it on. But, Queen of Full, man, she still be going live. She still be having her, womb circles, her, everything, and she still keeping on.
Yep.
Just like Elder Baba Kaba as well. Man, he's still keeping on, as he always say, it's not over till we win. So definitely we have these elders who are still in our midst, still doing the work, and still being that example that we need.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, I was going to ask you, but since we are on the topic of elders, um, how do you feel like more elders can bridge the gap to the youth? As we mentioned, Queen of Four, Baba Kaba. How do you feel of more elders? Dr. Leonard Jeffries, and Dr. Baba Smalls. More of those elders. How do you feel they can bridge the gap to the youth so that we can learn what they know and then vice versa?
That is such a great question, because me being young, sometimes in spaces with a lot of elders or older women that do this work, it has been sometimes difficult. And I would say to myself, what is it? What is it? What is the energy? How can we bridge a gap? I would say, give us an opportunity to work beside you, or give us an opportunity to learn. Give us an opportunity to speak. Give us an opportunity at the table. And I feel like a lot of sometimes elders feel threatened by younger theologies and younger philosophies and younger practices, and how we're not as traditional as they may be. And because we may not be traditional doesn't mean we don't know what we're doing or what we're talking about. So I would
Right.
say give us the opportunity to get our hands to learn the traditional ways. Give us the opportunity to intern with you. And there's a lot of strong young individuals that's into this spirituality, but they have no mentors and they have no one
Right.
that they can really look up to. And my story of being in Queen Afua's program is an interesting story as well.
Yeah,
You know,
we definitely about to get into that, beloved. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mhm.
We definitely were about to get into that. But before we get into, your journey in Queen Afua's program and university, as I said at the inception of this, live podcast, I've known you for a while. And I don't know if you remember, but around the first time of me meeting you was at the African Poetry Theater in Queens, right? I don't
But
know if you remember,
Sekou,
like that's a minute ago.
Sekou, I just
Yes.
spoke to him not too long ago.
Yes, that's a minute ago. So about 2016, 2017. So the reason why I brought that up is because, the connection that I have with you and within the so-called conscious community, right? It ain't really that conscious, but we don't want to go there. We
You
don't
see
want
the
to go
phone
there.
drop, right?
Yeah. Um, so my question is, so what got you into consciousness and what got you into wanting to know more about yourself and wanting to know more about history?
That's a good question. It was definitely pain. Um,
Mm,
I got
mm,
into a car accident and I couldn't walk, I couldn't work, couldn't run. And I was like so young and I was like, I'm not healing as fast as I would or I should. And I started looking up. So this is before I knew Queen Afua. This is before I knew about any conscious community. I was in war with myself. And I was like, if I can't work, if I can't run, if I can't walk, then what is the purpose of actually living? Like if I can't heal myself and if I have to live in pain, then I don't want this life. And it was really like that serious for me. So I started looking up remedies to help heal this inflammation I had in my knee. And after that, I became obsessed with breathing and eating clean. And my knee, it took time, about 2 to 3 years to heal my inflammation in my knee. But after
mm,
I healed, I said, oh my God, I need to know more. I need to know more about healing the inside of the body. I
right.
don't have to live in pain. This is a miracle. Oh my God. And I went to the doctor. The doctors, they was like, oh, you just have a fractured knee and if you just kind of like stay off it for a little bit, you'll be fine. I said, nah, it's deeper than just staying
Right.
off of it. It's what I'm putting inside of my body as well.
Mm,
So when I learned that the breath is the healer of all inflammation in the body, because that's what it was, just inflammation just piling up in my knee. And I'm small. So I'm like, yeah, no, 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 no. That's where it started for me. So I became obsessed with the information. And once you internally start studying something, you start attracting those people. Then I started attracting people in my life that was like vegan or plant-based or
right.
that was very conscious about, I wasn't conscious at all. I was very
Mm,
ignorant. I was very ignorant to a lot in this world. I didn't know much. All I knew was my little world. And when my little world expanded internally, then it expanded externally. So that's where it started for me. Just that
mm.
pain. I was like, no, I cannot be in pain. Mm-mm.
Right, right. And it's funny because it's like you have to go through pain, as you mentioned, and you have to go through pain, you have to go through trials and tribulations in order for you to meet your tribe, in other words, in order for you to see the light. So you have to be in darkness in order to see the light. And
Yes.
sometimes, unfortunately, it takes pain, huh? Because when we come into existence, huh? It takes pain upon the woman to bring life into existence. So from pain comes beauty. From pain comes light.
Mm-hmm.
So I just say that to say that sometimes it truly indeed takes pain in order for us to see the light and in order for us to be a better self.
Absolutely.
Um, so let's get into it, right? So it took you some pain, and so from that you started attracting, these vegans. You started attracting people. So essentially, you started attracting people that you can learn from,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And they always say, if you are the smartest person in your circle, you need a new circle.
Yes.
That's facts, because you can't be the one always teaching
Right.
people who you don't know,
Right.
right? So you was in that circle that you needed to be in so that you can learn from them. And it's
Yes.
nothing wrong from learning from other people.
Hmm.
So I say that to say, so what led you to Queen Afua's program, Sacred Woman?
I was actually talking to this guy. He was another Aquarius, and he was telling me about Queen Afua and I should get her book. And I was like, okay, really? So, it was like I was in relationships as well with different guys that actually enlightened me. And a lot of
At the
women
same
come,
time?
no, not the
I,
same
oh,
time,
oh, oh,
but
oh.
before,
But I say, okay.
but
I mean,
before, but before I met him, I met another guy that was telling me about veganism and eating right. And then I met another guy that was telling me about Queen Afua's book and her course. So basically, what I'm saying, why I chunked it up like that, is because I want to acknowledge how women, if we listen to men more, they can really
mm,
teach us something. Like, if there are a lot of men that know a lot of things, but they're quiet about it, and they don't feel the need to share if you're not going to really listen. So a lot of men definitely taught me different things, but it was this one particular guy that was like, take her program, get her book. And after I did that, I was like intrigued.
you was hooked.
Yeah, I was hooked. I took her program. I got the book. And what's so amazing, I did this in 2019. This is when I started her program. I feel like God pushed me to start her program during that time, because in 2020, it was no more in-person Queen Afua classes.
Wow.
So I was actually graduated from one of the last classes that was able to get an in-person experience with Queen Afua. And that is very
Shout out to
rare.
that.
Yeah, it was
Shout
amazing.
out
I
to
would
that.
sit right in the front like this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's how I got introduced to her
Awesome.
work.
So, and also shout out to the brother who again introduced you to that to Queen Afua, her program and her books, so on and so forth. Because and we're about to get into relationships and everything like that. As word, we're about to get deep. Trust me. So as well, you already know, like I'm deep. I be, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like
mean,
I I know my stuff. But so as women are supposed to breathe life into men, it's supposed to be vice versa. Men is supposed to also breathe
exactly.
life, breathe, tenderness, caring, and loving and love into his woman if
Hmm.
he's really into the relationship, right? Because as we know, relationship is work.
Right.
So no man ain't about to, give you suggestions, give you advice if he ain't into you like that.
Right. Hmm.
Um, yeah. So what things what things and so first let's start off with your experience. What was your experience like in the Queen of Four program?
So I didn't realize the age difference too much, because there was a lot of older women than me, and I realized I was embarking on a journey that was kind of past me and past my years and past my knowing. And I didn't humble myself enough to even understand sometimes that I'm amongst women that have a lot of more life experiences than me.
Oh yeah.
However, I also was amongst women that showed me that I have a lot of past lives that I can tap into within myself that may surpass them as well. I didn't know that yet until I saw certain things. So when I joined the program, I was so excited. Like, I mean, excited. It was times where I should have been excited and I should have kind of like been more quiet, because
Right.
it's it's a program, and these women are older and they're a little bit more traditional than I thought. However, I learned so much about myself. I learned that, because I went through deep abandonment issues, I was trying to hold on to the program and hold on to the women there. And God was trying to push me out, like, okay, you're graduating, go. go. And I was trying to hold on to just the mother figures there. And that created a kind of like a clash because I had a vision for myself. I was already doing sacred calls while I was in the program. I was already trying to form a womb circle, and I wasn't paying too much to detail that I was supposed to work under Queen Afua. But I had so much energy that sometimes God is showing you that even though you got this knowledge from here, there's more I have to teach you and show you, and there's more I want you to do. So I need you to kind of like move along. So Queen Afua has been one of my best teachers in both of those senses, showing me that, you know, your codependency as can be healthy but unhealthy.
Okay.
I remember graduation. We went to the beach early in the rising. It was like about 4 a.m. and it was winter time at the beach.
Wow.
And yeah, it's very serious work. We had to wake up every day at 4 a.m., do our breathing exercises. We had to do our juices. We had to do enemas. We had to do this for 3 months consistently. We had to be on calls. We had to journal. We had to take this so seriously as if your life depended on it. I remember silent cries. I remember being in class with other women, not understanding the frequency because it was so new to me and it was a lot to take on. This program can change your life overnight if you are able to face yourself and face your reflections. This is not a program like where you come and you don't have no expectations. You know what I'm saying? Don't have no expectations. Go on your own personal journey. And that's what it was for me. After I took her program, I was like, I need to share this with my community.
Right.
And I remember being on the phone with Queen Afua one time. This is another, I'm telling you, this is stories that I'm going to tell when she passed away as well. I remember she had called me up one time and she said, "Hey, RosZella, how you doing? I know it was a rough call with the ladies last week. I just want to know, am I'm a good teacher?" True
Oh,
story. She asked me this. True story. Because I was one of those, if you're in school, you know, you always have one of those students that's like a rebel and that so-called cause trouble. So I was one of those students, you know, kind of like a rebel, kind of like very different. So she had to call me personally. And also the dean, Queen Esther, had called me as well. And shout out to both of those queens. And she was like, "I just want to make sure I'm a good teacher." And I was like, "Queen Afua, I didn't leave the meeting call. I just went silent." Because this is something that she taught me. She taught me that if you don't have anything else to say or contribute to the conversation, you want to silence your words to, you know, Tahuti. Tahuti is a balance of speaking, but also knowing when to be quiet. And that was my
mm,
biggest lesson in that program. Know when
mm,
to speak and know when to be quiet. Know when to respect
yes,
your elders and knowing that you don't know as much as you think you know. And Queen Afua was preparing me for that on my journey. She's a very eccentric, raw woman. And it's been a privilege to watch her and to get
yes,
like first row seat of this woman in action and how she delegate each piece and each detail. Um, and I was like, "No, Queen Afua, it's not that you're not a good teacher. It's just that I stopped speaking and I didn't feel to say anything else." And we ended that call with grace. And at graduation, I remember when she looked at me and she was like, I looked so different than when I came to her program. So I give gratitude to that woman and Queen Esther. Queen
Queen
Afua is
who?
nothing without Queen Esther. So
Queen Esther.
sometimes we
Okay.
forget Queen Esther. Queen Esther is her neverhead, her right hand lady. And both of them together, Pisces Leo combination, is the magic of the whole program. So I thank both of those queens for just doing what they do because it's not easy. It's not
Yes.
easy. So many different personalities with women. It
Oh
is
yeah.
not easy, but they are doing it, and women lives are being changed forever, and men. So
Yeah, man. Oh man, that's a beautiful recollection. That's a beautiful memory that you have of the beloved Queen of Four. And so family, for the people, for the women, for the men who are on this podcast right now, I hope that Queen RosZella is inspiring you right now to want to, if you're not yet a sacred woman, to want to take the risk, take the leap, and tap in to that sacred wisdom that Queen Afua will be bestowing upon you. I'm not sure of her next um, program date, but definitely you might want to reach out to Queen Afua, go on her website, and tap in, because as you hearing and seeing firsthand, this is a beautiful program, and you can learn so much. I know about, a good handful of women who have gone through the program. So I'm like, wow, myself. And it's just admiring us as the youth, us as young people can still learn something from an elder, and be respectful too as well. Because me, like, I've always been around elders. Like, I always big up King Simon. Like, I always big up Baba Kaba, Professor James Moore, all of these, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, right? All of these elders that I've, one time or another brought to, Nicholas Brooklyn, brought to these um, events to speak to people, and I've gained some, a business relationship with them. So, man, shout out to the elders, and because one day we would be elders, and we would need help,
Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
pull up the youth so we can be on the same page, fighting a good fight towards
Yep.
freedom and liberation for the Black nation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's see. So you talked about health, and I mean the program is such a holistic entity within itself. Again, so family, we are speaking about Queen of Four, Sacred Woman. She has an updated 20th anniversary edition.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have the book, or if you don't have the latest book, please do purchase the book. www.dtr360books.com. We have it on our website. And so speaking of health, and speaking on womb, I know Queen Afua talks a lot about womb wellness, right? What is womb wellness, and how important is it?
Womb wellness is so important that they're constantly making laws about our bodies. That's how important it is. That the white man wakes up and say, I need to regulate these pussies. Like this is what's going on. And I just think that it is a war, a silent war. And this silent war is in the hospitals. This silent war is in PR. This silent war is in television and media. This silent war is in our schools with our children. And what they're doing is trying to take the womb out of the body. And not only take it out the body, they're trying to replace it with other things that is irreplaceable. So the war in the womb right now is something that, like I said, is a silent war. It's like a backdoor talk. Nobody want to talk about it out loud, but everybody want to make laws about it. So I really encourage, when it comes to womb healing, that every woman and man learns about the womb, because we're talking about a portal that is in the middle of our bodies that carries DNA that can activate memories of our records, our soul records here on earth and here up above. And when we understand the power that is in the womb, the womb is the definition of death and rebirth. So
Mm,
they would say that there's something called dark goddesses and light goddesses. A
mm,
goddess that is in tune with her light and dark will understand the polarity of her womb, will understand the polarity of giving life and taking life, will understand that she is water, she don't mean to drown you. She is fire, she don't mean to burn you. But however, this power coexists in her womb. Now we're talking about the blood that comes from the womb. The blood that comes from the womb is kind of like having an heirloom that you could put in your plants. that you can put in foods, that you can make spells with. This is what the womb was used for. Generations, like secret knowledge is the womb. Is a society in itself. So when I was like learning about the womb, I had fibroids advised by a black female GNY to have exactly take her womb out. It wasn't until exactly. They're convincing us that it's better to take your womb out than to heal it, and they're convincing us of this. So many women have fibroids. So many
Right.
women have pain during your period. When you have your period, you're not supposed to really have pain. You may be a little moody,
And
emotional,
cramps. Yeah.
but that's only because you're tapping into divine emotions, divine frequency. You may get hormonal, get a little thicker, a little plumper, but that's really it. You're not really supposed to be in pain. You're not supposed to be bleeding for so long and so heavy.
Right.
So what
Right.
they did to the womb was they infrastructured it.
Mm.
They said, use this womb to make money. Now, that's what is running in our DNA. It's trauma in the womb.
Oh yeah.
So much trauma that is spilling over to the next generations. I have
It's inherited.
exactly. So
So
once, go ahead.
now, no, go ahead, finish.
I'm just saying, once we understand the portal that we have and we work together to nurture it and we work together to strengthen it, everyone can benefit from the benefits of the womb DNA and the womb power.
Right, right, right. Man, deep, deep. Yeah, and I was just gonna build on you. And I read, I think it was in the Queen of Four book. And so I just want to mention because even though the book Queen of Four is for women, I would recommend that men also read the book as
Yes.
well, so that we could tap in and get to know our significant other better, right? I mean, this will only strengthen our relationship. The, African, Aboriginal, Black man and woman relationship. It will only strengthen it. And it will only, you know, see a different side of the woman. And then also the woman, you should also read the book Man Heal Thyself by, again, Queen of Four, so that we can understand both the woman's anatomy and understand, their likes and dislikes from a historical and different perspective. I think it's key. It's very key and it's very paramount and our uplifting and empowering of the nation as we are trying to build a nation, right? I don't even hear that word anymore, nation build. We should be able to still preach and reconcile nation building because it's very important and vital. But I digress. I was going to say also that women, yeah, because I read the book, women shouldn't even have I think you said it too, a long period, right? It
Yes.
should only be what, like 1 2 days. But and then fibroids, right? So women are having all of these issues with the womb and with the body. Also, another book which is very important too is Overcoming an Angry Vagina by Tina Fool as well,
Yes.
right? And again, she speaks on health and she speaks on fibroids and womb. And one of the issues why the fibroids is accumulating in women, African Black women in particularly, is because of the unhealthy eating habits that women have. Speak on that, beloved. The
So
unhealthy eating habits and the fibroids that is just unprecedented in African Black women today.
so for the people that are looking for the book, please go to his website. He'll put it in the comments. Go to his website. Also, Women Get Man Heal Thyself. Read that book so you can learn about your significant partner. Okay. So I need y'all to perfect I need y'all to purchase both of those books. Um, and that's a good question. So when it comes to the fibroids, let's break it down. The
Please.
fibroids is kind of like crystallized inflammation.
Mm,
So we're talking about uh, a crystal cluster. This is the inflammation and it turned into this crystal cluster over time because of the emotion. So what we eat, the root of it is not the emotion. The root of it is, the root of it is not what we eat. The root of it is the emotion of why we're eating.
Mm.
So if we get to that part, then we can regulate why we're eating. My journey for stopping certain foods was because I was in a physical pain. And that physical pain, I didn't want it anymore. So what is your root of your emotion? Is it abandonment? Is it codependency? Is it love issues? Is it self-love issues? Once you get to that root, then you could be like, you know what? I don't want sugar anymore because actually I love myself enough to know that that's not good for me. You know, I'm not saying once in a while you can enjoy a little something, something, but not every day, not every week. So the root of fibroids is definitely we're carrying emotional will of trauma that is circling in our womb, that is turning into a hard crystallized substance
Mm.
called fibroids. And the only way to eliminate fibroids is on a raw diet. You have
Mm.
to be 90% raw. If you want to eliminate any inflammation in the body, you got to be 90% raw.
Mm.
I'm mostly vegan. I still get inflammation. You know why? Because my body is so alkaline now, nothing can stay in it. Nothing's going to stay in the body now.
Wow.
So you got to start eating 90% raw, a lot of water, a lot of juices, and
Now,
supplements.
for so for the people who don't know, what is a raw diet?
So a raw diet. So when I say 90% raw, I don't want to make this difficult. Whatever you like, just eat it raw. So for example, I would say a lot of people like pasta. You can make pasta raw, get zucchini, spiral it up, put some tomato sauce, and you got raw pasta. You know what I'm saying? You want mushrooms with it, throw the mushrooms in a dehydrator. To be raw, you need tools. You need a dehydrator, you need a juicer, you need a food processor, you need knives, you need chopping things, you need a fridge, you need government assistance, food stamps. I don't discriminate against it all. You know what I'm saying? Get your reparations. You need these tools. Yes, you need these tools to help make it easy for you. My favorite, okay, so anyone's interested in raw, my favorite go-to raw sandwiches. Simple: kale, tomato, hummus, alfalfa sprouts, a little bit of Himalayan salt, cayenne pepper.
With what
Throw
bread?
some
Because that's important. With what bread?
they have the Ezekiel bread, sprouted bread.
Yeah.
You want to definitely get that sprouted bread, and then get you a wrap. Get you a whole wheat wrap. Get you a spinach wrap. Throw your greens in there. Throw your raw tomatoes in there, or your sun-dried tomatoes. Throw your hummus in there. Throw your peppers in there. Throw some soaked quinoa in there. Chopped up wall meat. Put it in the blender. You got yourself a whole meal. So being raw is not hard. It's just a matter of how long can you do the how. It's not about how long can you do it. It's how bad you want to heal. If you want to
Right.
live in pain, go ahead, live in pain. But if you don't want to live in pain, try going raw for 30 days. And guess what, guys? I have a secret. Come here, come here, come here. I got a secret. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. YouTube.
YouTube, right.
YouTube is everything. You could be like, how, I want to know how to go raw. YouTube. You will learn more than what I'm even sharing with you. So, ladies, start doing a raw diet, and those fibroids will become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller.
Word, man. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Yes. Also, in addition to YouTube, if you love books like how I love books, this is the next great book as well. Man, Heal Thyself, Natural Healing Cookbook.
Yes.
Queen Afua, she wrote the introduction, and Diane Connie, I think is the name. She is the author of this book. This has recipes. This has um, juice ideas and so forth, desserts that you can definitely look into. If you don't know, what to eat or what to cook, this book right here is good. Heal Thyself, Natural Healing Cookbook.
You have
Um,
also Queen of Food, the one that's just Heal Thyself, that one as well.
Heal Thyself?
Yeah, the Queen of she has like another
Yes.
version of that. Get that one as
Yeah.
well. Yes, everyone, get that book too. This book right here, okay? That book right here is an amazing book. Get that.
Oh, yes.
That's one of my first. I got that book before I even got the Sacred Woman Queen of Food book.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that book first. So yeah, that is a really good book, y'all.
Man. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so we are at the halfway point of our podcast. Thank you so much, family, for staying thus far with us. I mean, this sister right here, she has dropped so much wisdom with us here tonight, and I can only imagine what more knowledge and wisdom she has to drop. So this is the halfway point. Listen again. Thank you for being on the podcast with us. Definitely. If you're not following the sister, make sure that you follow her. Sis, do you have a website that you could drop real quick?
Yes, I do have a website. It's the Aboriginal Womb Circle. My sister Shaka Sis, happy birthday. Shout out to everyone that knows Shaka Sis. Happy birthday to my queen. Put it in the chat
Happy
box.
birthday, sis.
We actually going to start doing membership womb circles together. But I'm gonna put that's my website, the Aboriginal Womb Circle. That's my life.
Yeah, pin it. Yeah, pin it
Oh,
too.
pin it. Okay, so I'll pin it. Yes, if you need a raw diet consultant, hit up Shaka Sis as well. You can also hit me up too. But we definitely, Shaka has been in the game longer than me when it comes to like raw diet and veganism and plant-based. So she definitely has a lot more wisdom than I do, and I definitely recommend her. I was trying to pin it, but I guess I'll just type it in. I'm not the best with
Word.
these
All right.
apps. I'm still learning some of
Nah,
these
you good.
functions too.
So while you get that situated, family, make sure that you support DTR 360 Books. Make sure that you support DTR 360 Books and the podcast as well. You can just support the podcast just by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Support the podcast. Peace, family from the UK. We international, baby. Make sure that you support the podcast by just simply subscribing to DTR 360 Books podcast. All right, going on YouTube and also subscribing to our YouTube channel as well. Again, we're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers by April. So you can please help us with that. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers by April. Also, with any podcast platform that you listen to, make sure that you follow us and you listen to our previous podcast episodes as well. Man, we had Zaza Ali. Man, she was powerful as well. We had Brother King Simon on the podcast. We had so many other, young and talented entrepreneurs, teachers, and educators as well. So I would recommend that you listen to our previous our podcast episodes as well. All right, family. So, beloved, let's get into it. So speaking of teachers and educators, me myself, I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, not as long as you, but I'm out here in Jersey, and I'm pretty sure that we have similar experiences once it comes to teaching. But you teach a higher grade than I. So I would like to know why an educator and what has your experience been like?
That's such a great question because last year I was like, I don't think I want to be a teacher anymore. God, why you keep putting me here?
Wow.
Real talk. Because after 2020, I kind of like fell out of love with teaching because of what they were doing with the system. And they've all so I've always been in conflict too with working in the system and speaking highly about being against the system. And God whispered in my ear one day and said, you don't understand. Sometimes you have to enter the matrix in order to be the change, in order to be that spark, that light that people have never seen before or even experienced. So teaching came to me at a time. I'll just tell a quick story. I went to this church one time and I was very emotional and very down and depressed. And I knew if I go into this church, it was in Brownsville, I can release. So I went to the church, I started screaming, crying, get it, whatever, getting it off. I come out the church and I go to the library the next day to apply for a new job. I was working at Gap. And the women said to me, the women that was at the church saw me at the library, alignment, right? And I was a little embarrassed, but not too embarrassed. So they was like, oh, we about to quit this job after school teaching. I said, word, put me on. I never did teaching before in my life, but my spirit said, go for it. I went to that interview. I said, I could dance, I could do poetry, I could do whatever you want for these kids.
Right.
I always worked for a black man. that was a non-negotiable.
Right.
I've always worked for a Black woman. That was a non-negotiable as well. My first school I worked for was a Black man owned a Black church, and a Black woman was a principal, and she hired me to be a teacher after being an after school program leader. And from there, I moved up. I didn't have college. I didn't graduate from college. So I'm just letting people know, don't limit yourself with the world expectations. The world expected me to go to college to get a degree. God said, use what you have and what I gave you because it is needed. I said, I'm following your path.
Right.
I went from being an after school program leader to an after school supervisor to a teacher assistant to a teacher. And now at me about to give up on teaching, I left my old job. I taught in Far Rockaway Elementary School, 5th grade. I wasn't feeling the spirit anymore. So I left and I said, you know what? I'll just leave God. I had a womb circle at the beach not too long ago. This woman, a Virgo woman, came in there beautiful. I mean, she was voluptuous. And I didn't know she was a principal of a school. She told my friend, she said, I want her in my school. Wow. She called me up. She said, I want you to teach 7th grade math. I said, 7th grade math? Damn. Like, I
That's
said,
a lot of content.
Let me tell you something. When you ask for a blessing, don't have no expectations. You ask for it. And I was like, okay, God, I don't know how the hell I'm going to teach 7th grade math. I guess I'm going to have to use my brain overnight. The brain is so powerful, y'all. I learned math overnight again because I know I learned it in school, but it was a while ago. I learned math over again. But what I learned is that math is the language of the gods. This is how our ancestors build these pyramids, build these buildings, all these symbols and all these roads, and how they knew how the sun circulate and the moon circulate with time. They knew the language of math. And I said, God, thank you for aligning me back to a past life. In my past life, I was a teacher of all things. So that's where I have a deep passion for it, because it taps me back into a past life, but also my brain starts feeling electricity pulses and the numbers start correlating together. Women, Black women, how many Black women you know teaching math and science and engineering? It is limited. When I go into work every day, I feel proud to be a Black woman that teaches math to children, because you don't see it. And I said, God, if this is the purpose that keep me pushing, I'll keep pushing based off of that alone. So it is my duty to my community to show children that Black women are teachers as well. And we teach subjects that are the hardest as well.
Word, man. I love that. I love that so dearly, because you are right. I mean, math is one of, if not the first language that our ancestors was using, right? Life is math. Life is mathematics, and mathematics is life. You know, piece of the gods in the earth. They say that Islam, mathematics is Islam, and Islam is mathematics. So, you know, that just goes to say that math is a universal language, right? And without it, we cannot survive. Right? So math and numbers are like oxygen. Without it, we can't survive. And just going back, man, to what you were saying, me, like I teach them more. I teach 1st grade, so they're still, you know, babies, but they, you know, they still love me. And even though that they're, you know, babies, 5, 6, 7 years young, I still always motivate them and give them encouragement. And you know, we learned about ancient Egyptian, you know, ancient civilizations. King Tut. Did you know that King Tut was the king of Egypt at the age of 9 years young?
No, I did not.
Just 9, he was the king of Egypt.
Come on.
So and when I said that to my students, I said, look, he's your age. He may be a little older, but he's your age. And he has done great things. And if he can do great things at such a young age, you can do great things too. You can do great
I'm just so happy you
things
said that,
as
because
well.
they're watering down our children. I just had to put that in with how you said that. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. So, I mean, I just say that to say that, I mean, I motivate, encourage, love my children every day, 24/7. And you know, speaking of, as you just mentioned, that you don't see much, you know, Black women teaching STEM subjects. We don't even see any Black men
Come
in the
on,
school system, period.
let's go. Yep,
Right?
it's very
So, because
simple.
when we think of teachers, we think of it as a woman job.
Yep.
But no, men needs to be in the classroom just as much
Yes.
as,
Yes.
African Black women.
Yes.
So they need
Yes.
both.
Yes.
They need both of us to be in the classroom, and to be
Yes.
giving them that knowledge and wisdom and understanding.
Yes.
Because most of them don't even get it at home.
Nope. We have
They
to
don't get it at
understand.
home.
Schools are not going anywhere. So I always say, for artists, if you want to work and make money in this matrix, I suggest being a teacher. Is the most rewarding service that you can give during your time here on earth.
Word, word. So, do you have any plans of building like your own school in the near future?
I do not have any plans of building my own school in the future. However, I do feel like the world is my school. I'm learning. I'm a student every day. I'm a student teacher. Um, that's definitely why I tell myself. But I haven't really thought about doing that. However, I've had experiences where I've, like, my sister want to do like a daycare, things like
Right,
that, like a learning center, like a tutoring
right.
center. I'll be open to something like that. But I never really
Okay.
thought about opening my own school. It's a very big responsibility and task.
Indeed,
Um,
indeed.
but probably like a womb temple or a temple, like teaching other things. I'll probably be open to that one day. You never
Okay.
know.
Okay, yes, yes, definitely putting that into the universe.
Hmm.
So what is your definition of education?
Woo! My definition of education, because I've learned a lot from the school system, DK, but I've also learned a lot from the streets. So I would say, if I had to put it in words, education can be a subtle experience. When I say that, I mean you could learn from anything and anywhere. Education is the senses. I'll put it like that. It's using your senses. That is education for me.
Is using your what?
Your senses, your five
Oh,
senses.
senses. Okay.
Oh, well, we could actually amp it up to our 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th senses, 11th senses, 12th senses. That is what's education. Because education is not just in this physical realm. If I take a magical plant medicine and I go into another so-called metaverse or universe, there's a whole nother education there. So there's different levels of education, and it takes different level of the senses to acquire certain education too.
Hmm.
So education is just not in the school system to me. It's definitely in the different dimensions.
Indeed, indeed. So now, I don't know about you, but it seems as though like relationships get difficult,
You better speak on it. You
and
stupid.
more complex to sustain in 2022. So my first question about relationships is, what is your stance on gender role? And two, what is your top three things about relationship that you must have in it?
Good question. My stance on gender role. I do believe at the root level, we have free will to be more masculine or feminine if we want, because we both have those polarities in our body. However, I do not believe in the enhancements that is going on, because what they're actually doing is making money off of our bodies. I say this: when it comes to the gender, if you want to be more masculine, all means go ahead, be more masculine. You want to be more
As a
feminine?
female,
Huh?
as a female being more masculine.
If you want to be more masculine, go ahead, be more masculine. If you want to be more feminine, go ahead, be more feminine. If you want to be balanced, then go ahead and be balanced. So what I would say with the gender identity, we have an unbalance within ourselves, and we're going so far to the extreme with this unbalance that we're willing to get enhancements that will forever physically and mentally paralyze us. So we're not understanding that there were women that were very masculine back in the day, and those women, what they did was they were the front lines in those wars. They were the frontline spies. They were the front lines, in that sense. They had to literally look over whole nations as we would speak. But they had their feminine attributes as well. you know. So I think it's just a matter of, like I said, being balanced and figuring out when it's necessary to be more masculine and when it's necessary to be more feminine. Now, the three top things, someone enhancements. You mean BBL? BBL. I think that's, what is that again?
I
Oh,
don't know, man.
Brazilian
Too
butt
many
lift. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
abbreviations. I
The
can't keep
Brazilian,
up nowadays.
huh?
I can't keep up. It's too
It's
many
the Brazilian.
abbreviations.
It's the Brazilian butt lift. Yes,
Oh,
that's what I mean when I mean to the enhancements. You know, letting them cut you open just to make yourself more masculine. You don't have to do that. Just be more masculine. You know, you don't have to cut off your stuff. Now, when it comes to the three top things in relationships that you said I need or that I prefer.
both.
Okay. I would say one, communication.
Yes.
Even if I shut down, I need you to be like, because I'm Aquarius and I could really shut down. I
When's
need
your
you to
born
be
day
like,
again?
huh?
When's your born day?
February 7th.
Oh, 7. Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can shut down and go into a little whirlwind of thoughts in my mind. So definitely communication. I really, really need communication. And I need support. When I mean support, I mean detail, everyday detail. Like, there's this Virgo guy I know. We be hanging out and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And almost every rising, he always have something to drink for me.
Something what?
Something to drink for me.
Okay.
Those, like, that's support to me. Women, we be looking for the wrong support.
Mm,
Like, it's support in the little things. You
mm,
know, so that means the world to me. Like, just knowing, like, I'm thirsty, I need to stay dehydrated, or I need to eat, I've been working all day, or I need help with my bags, I'm tired. Like, just paying attention to my body language. Definitely need that affection. Like, touch
mm,
me, kiss me, look at me. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Like,
Admire you.
you
Yes, yes.
admire me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's important because we may admire people in their mind, but we don't say it enough sometimes, and we don't show it enough sometimes. Let that person know. So I say
Mm,
communication and support, affection wise and on details wise. And I would say the third thing, we have to be able to build something in this lifetime. If I can't collaborate and build something with you, then what are we doing? We're just shacking up for nothing. I'm gonna add one more because I'm a medicine woman. I need you to be open to my freedom of expression. There are times where I have to go to ceremonies and I need freedom to be in that ceremony, be in that mode, to be free of who I am. You know what I'm saying? There's times where I go out to dance and I go to parties and I need to be free to be who I am and to be in my full feminine glory. And a lot of women get in relationships and men and they downplay their masculine and they
mm.
downplay their feminine energy, and then they become stagnant in their own life and then become regretful over time. So I just need freedom to, like, be as feminine as I want to be. So I was
Man,
talking about, yeah.
that's dope. That's dope. I really hope that your relationship work out and y'all are actually building something as you just mentioned.
Thank you.
Yes,
You're so
because we should
funny.
huh?
You was funny.
Oh, now, because no, I just say that to say that we definitely should be building and collaborating. Like I don't see much collaboration going on. Just within our circle, within uh, you know, people that know people, we don't collaborate, right? And then we always say, why are things that continue to be the way that they are? It's because we don't collaborate with each other and work together. We can go so much further if we work together,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So all right, so this is my last question because I don't want to keep you too long, beloved.
I'm fine. I'm enjoying myself.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay. That's peace. That's peace. So tell us about your new business. You mentioned you have your own Sacred Womb Circle. Tell us about that and other endeavors that you have going on for 2022.
Okay, definitely will. Thank you. See, I just got some water. You know what I'm saying? Got a little,
Yes, yes.
some little chips. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. I
Word.
appreciate you. um, so Yes, my womb circle, I've been doing it now for 3 years. And like I said, I'll be working with my sister Shaka sis. She's also my sacred sister as well. And what I want to do with the womb circle, it's a monthly international womb circle. I have women in Pakistan, I have women in Ireland, Germany, in all parts of different states of the United States as well. So I'm working on a way to bring all these women together in a membership program so that we can get deeper into the work. All the women tell me meeting once a month is not enough. We need to meet more. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, let me collaborate with some powerful women and let's create something that will hold us all accountable. So yes, definitely it's called the International Aboriginal Womb Circle. And the reason why I named it that is because we have to understand that we have roots way deeper. And those roots is definitely entwined in the cornerstone of our womb, the DNA of our womb, the strands of our womb. And we need to understand one of my most ignorant comments when it comes to working with women is not knowing that women of color is all shades, all textures, and all how can I say it? Fascination. Women of color are fascinating. And once we understand that women of color come in all shapes, sizes, and
It's
looks and
diverse.
varieties, then we can actually create a better world for womb healing. Too many women saying, oh, she got a perm, I can't work with her. She got a weave, I can't work with her. She got a wig, I can't work with her. I don't give a shit what you got on. That ain't my business. But my business is that you got a womb and we need to heal together so that we can push out this frequency. So definitely got the womb circle, but I also do retreats as well. And I also do plant medicine ceremonies. So I
Mm.
want to start hosting plant medicine ceremonies, microdosing ceremony. I already host them, but I want to do group ones where we come together and we get on this whole frequency of healing
Yes.
with the plant medicine. But I also want to heal the sexual energy in our community. Most of us born in the 1984 or 89, 1994, 92, we all, I think, have Jupiter in Scorpio. And that means we are the generation called to heal the sexual energy. So a lot of my plant medicine heals definitely those different traumas and things like that. So I definitely work with that. And I working with a fasting campaign with some people coming up as well. I love fasting, y'all. You need to fast every season. I just finished my 30 month. I mean, my 30. Oof, not 30 month. That's coming though.
30.
My 30-day raw fast for the winter. So the next fast is coming up for the spring, and maybe we
Spring
can
equinox.
collaborate on DTR 360 with some books that people could get during their fasting, and that will help you as well. He has many great books on fasting and recipes in these books that can really help you on your journey. When it comes to fasting, you need books, you need
Right.
material.
Right.
There's sometimes you need, like, I just bought a book from you recently, the Dr. Africa. What's Dr. Africa?
Yeah. 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 African holistic health.
African Holistic Health. I bought that book from you recently and I love the book. I read it on the plane.
Oh
And
yeah.
something I learned, two herbs that we already need in our life, kelp and alfalfa. You have those two, and I just learned that just from reading through the book. And I'm like, these two herbs keep coming up. They
Mm.
keep coming up, kelp and
Mm-hmm.
alfalfa. Yes, Fasting's Life's definitely doing a fasting campaign. And I do poetry. I do a lot of different things. Just click my website, follow me on Instagram when you get off of here. But I appreciate what you're doing for the community, because we have to understand that they're creating a metaverse so that we don't read anymore. They have all of these video games so that our children do not read. A lot of our children cannot read. This is an epidemic, a pandemic. The real pandemic is that our children can't read. Let's be real about this shit. They
Man,
already got the system set up for this generation that was virtually learning, that wasn't learning, that can't read. They already got jails ready for them because they
mm.
know there's a generation coming up that can't read again. So buy these books for your children, please, please, y'all. We need to start reading too, adults.
Right. 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 I mean, man, I don't wanna I don't wanna start to rant, but I mean I say that all the time that especially and it's good that another person is also saying it, because I just feel like, damn, am I being redundant? Like, are you
No,
really hearing me? right? Because I'm pretty sure as you, I see it firsthand. And again, my students is younger. My students is younger, and I say all the time that we should first learn how to read so that we can read to learn. There's a difference, right? Of course, we can read a paragraph, we can read a page, but you know, are we actually reading to learn,
Yes.
right? That's one. And then we should be reading to comprehend, huh? Many of us just reading, but we're not understanding what we just read.
Yep.
So as you just mentioned about, I forgot you mentioned something about being levels, but this levels to reading. There's
Let's talk
levels to
about it.
reading, right? Comprehension. And then after comprehension, huh? After you understand what you read, you got to apply.
Come
You
on
can't
now.
just, okay, I understand it. No, you got to apply, execute, and implement what you just read.
Yep.
That's very key. That's very important. I tell people that all the time. I do videos on that all the time. And then especially women. I don't want to get on the women, but as I'm on the subject of women, please, huh? We are still living in a single parent household.
Come
The
on.
majority of single parents is the mother,
Talk about it.
huh? As it was in the 1970s, much hasn't changed.
Talk about it.
Much has not changed. And so
Yep.
we are still living in a single parent household
Yep.
ran by the mother, huh?
Yep. Come on.
So if the children can't read, then what did that tell you about the mother?
Come
Huh?
on.
What does that tell you about the mother? That she is not enforcing and she is not instilling that education is key. Education is paramount in you becoming somebody. Huh? Because the mother is the first teacher of the child. So again, if she's not teaching that child anything, of course that child is not going to know how to read. Huh? Of
Come on.
course that child is not going to learn how to tie his shoes. Huh? Of course that child is not going to understand what he's reading, even if he or she could read. Huh? Because and these children are getting smarter as the years go on.
Come on.
They're getting smarter. So if you can tell me that they can learn lyrics to a song, they can definitely understand of the book that they just read.
If they could work
They
TikTok, they
definitely
could read.
right. They have the capacity to understand what they just read. If they have the capacity to learn and memorize a whole song verbatim.
Come on now. Like I said, they're
Huh?
watering down our
So,
children.
a woman women needs to do a better job with teaching our
Yep.
children
Yep.
because
You but
again
talk
it's
about it. Get
statistics.
on it. Get on it.
I'm not saying it's statistics,
Get on
right?
it.
Still we have a high percentage of single mother households,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so the first teacher is the mother. So that message the mother gives to the child, that child gives to the world. So we have to be, women particularly, African, Aboriginal, Black women in particularly, have to be really careful of what they're teaching their child. Not only what they teaching them, as in don't do that, go to school, read, make sure you do that, but also teaching them by being a good example,
Yes.
huh? By
If
being a
they
good
see you
example,
reading,
because
they reading.
exactly, exactly. So you have to be that good example because children don't do what they're told. Children do what they see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
I see we quiet now in the chat.
Yeah,
We quiet now.
and that starts in the womb. You have to start reading to them in your womb. In
I see
your
that all the
womb.
time. Indeed.
Yes. Let's
Why is that
let's
important though? For you to start to read inside your womb.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Why is that important,
Oh,
beloved?
why is that important? So when a child a child learns first through audio, and the mother speaking to the child reading, they start developing their own voice unconsciously. They develop their voice through the mother voice. So the mother is reading, they develop, oh, okay. This is what reading sounds like, storytelling sounds like. And when they leave the womb, they can talk. They develop talking at maybe 1 year old. At 1 year old, your child should be talking, saying something. At 2 year old, they should be developing short sentences. At 3, they should be developing 2 sentences.
Mm.
And I know this because of my sister. She's a doula. So my sister, this is. Let me tell you something about womb work and knowledge. If the knowledge is not transferring down to your family, you're only doing it for your ego and your pride. Like he said, you're just reading it to be a debate reader. You're not reading it to take the knowledge and put into action. Because I started with Queen Afua program and started doing womb circles, my sister became a doula, midwifery, like being assisting women in birth. And she had 2 children. And her partner delivered, blesses, he just passed away last year, bless his soul, delivered that last child together out of her womb. They didn't need no assistance. And they read to these children. My niece and nephew, 1, almost 2, and 3, they speak, they talk, they demand, they question you. And I know it's because she read to them in their womb. And you have to buy them books. Make it like, we don't have libraries in our home.
That's another issue.
Yes,
Exactly. We don't even have dictionaries.
Let me tell you, I go to
right? Much less libraries. Like,
yes, I go to like my friend's
once
house.
we speak on, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I go to my friend's house. They may be, they're a different culture. It could be any other culture besides African American. I go to their friend's house. It could be a Haitian house. It could be a Jamaican house. It could be a Italian house. They have libraries. You go to an African American home, you don't see libraries, barely.
But you know what you do see? You see shoes.
In media
you
libraries.
See sneakers.
In movies. In DVDs and CDs.
Right? So nothing to stimulate and empower our minds. Dr. Amos Wilson, he said one time that we are so fascinated with materialistic things. We go to parties, we smoke, we drink. We find that easy to do. But we find things so much harder and difficult to do that will stimulate and empower and entice our minds, like reading, like going to school, like listening to educational podcasts and educational YouTube videos. There's a difference in going on YouTube and just listening to the Breakfast Club, as opposed to listening to Eric Thomas, motivational speeches. That's a different type of wiring. That's a different type of subconscious soaking up of, you know what I'm saying, of receiving the subconscious messages. Different, that's different from listening to Hot 97 or as opposed to listening to Dr. Francis Cress Rosie. Two different circumstances, 2 different messages. One will force you to think and hopefully force you to do something about the life in which you're currently at. And another one wouldn't even force you to think at all. And it may just force you to act out of your nature. It may just force you to do something that wouldn't benefit you at all.
Absolutely.
Right? So
we have
we need to definitely focus on that.
We have people saying, read, sing, talk, they observe it all. We have, it begins when you're having sex. Sex is very powerful if you know how to connect and have the attention, what you to bring forth. And that's very powerful that you said that, because sex for a lot of people in the African American community starts very young with porno. And that damages the mind. It damages the creativity energy. It damages the productive energy. It damages the focus and the discipline that we're talking about that we need to develop our brains and our mind, because no one is really taking the time to sit down and talk to us about what that energy is, and they probably don't know either. Then we have, I'm processing what I just heard. I'm a single father, parent, household. What role does the father play? Would you like to answer that one?
What was the question?
She says, I'm processing what I just heard. In a single parent household, what role does the father play?
Oh, the father he plays a vital role, as does the mother. But again, most times the father is not in the household. And times, I guess in your case, sister, that the father is in the household, what does he provide? Many things. He provide protection, huh? If he's the breadwinner, he provides, sustainability. He and even if he's not, he still provides much more than just being a breadwinner, huh? He provides discipline, huh? Um, when I was watching this, sometime I watch Kevin Samuels, right? And he was speaking to this woman, and her son, the woman's son, was up, and he comes on late, and this was like after 11. And I think it was a school night. I'm not sure. Well, no, because he usually come on Thursdays or Fridays. But in any case, the child still shouldn't have been up. So he was like, "How old is his son?" She said like 5, 6. Like it's after 11, and you have your son still up, right? So, and he said, if you had a man in the house, that child would have been asleep. He would have been in his room. Huh? So the father provides discipline, he provides structure. And again, our households are in shambles because unfortunately, we do not have the men in the house to enforce that disciplinarian structure and organization. Huh? And so, what's the opposite of organization? Chaos, right? So our households is chaotic. Our lives, most of our lives are chaotic because we have no structure. We have no discipline. We eat whatever we want. We say whatever we want. We do
Yep.
whatever we want. Oh, nobody can tell me I can do it. I'm a grown woman. I'm a grown man.
Yep.
Hence, the reason why collectively we are in a position that we're in because nobody can tell you nothing about yourself. You can do what you want to do, right? So we have no discipline. We have no structure. So men, true masculine men, provides that structure, discipline, provides that vision, huh? You got to be a visionary.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these things, this is what the men provides in order for us to rise
Yep.
as a nation. There goes that word again, nationhood. We need to be able to start to provide and work towards building a nation within a nation. We're a nation already. We're a nation already, but we don't act like it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't act like it, right? So we need to start acting like the nation that we already are. And men needs to be, inside of the households more frequently, whatever the case may be. Sometimes whatever the case, there's many combinations and situations. So why, some of us are in jail, right? Some of us are can't deal with the baby mother, so on and so forth. And that's another thing. We need to stop um having this, baby mother, baby daddy type of relationships. Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously that's not working and that hasn't been working in order for you to build a strong foundation, relationship foundation. And again, in order for us to build that strong family structure, we can't build a strong family structure if you're my baby mother and I'm your baby daddy. That don't, to me, that don't even sound right. I mean, I'm just wired different. That don't even sound right, huh? To me, you're my girlfriend. I'm your boy. What? If you go back to ancient Kemetic language, right? And I know Queen Afua speaks on the Kemetic history and so forth. There isn't a word for girlfriend and boyfriend. There's not a word for it,
I thought I was the only one that would tell a man sometimes, please don't call me like your girlfriend. Like,
huh?
I'm not your girlfriend, you know?
Yeah. So, oh, and peace to the brother. Major expression. What is it? Yes, major expression. Peace, bro, brother Lee. Peace, brother. You know? So to the sister that answered the question, this is what men provides inside the household. And so if you don't have the men inside the household, most times our households are chaotic, unfortunately.
When you were speaking about that was so powerful, it reminded me of this movie that I was sharing with my niece and nephew, Carrie Cool. If I'm saying that right.
Yes, it's an African movie about chess.
Yes, and I think it's like a French movie or French animation African movie. And it was so powerful that all the men were separated from the women in the village just because the woman, she had a thorn in her back. So a lot of men don't want to be in the household as well because a lot of women have thorns in their back. And for so long, they're like, oh, we have to carry on our own. You have to give the man space to let him lead. You know, let him like see what he can do. And after you see what he can do and he can lead, if you don't see what like if you don't like the leadership, you can quietly dismiss yourself, but don't try to diminish him. Don't try
Right,
to like tear him apart and break him apart forever. Because a lot of men do not recover from that. And we think that men are these strong. They are, but they have emotions.
exactly.
And
And
once you try to tear
feelings.
a man down, sometimes that lives with him and that stays with him. So as women, we have to be very careful of thinking that our emotions are more delicate than a man's. Their emotions can be just as delicate, sometimes even more. And we have to really get we like I think right now we're really on like understanding the masculine feminine energy. We're really understanding each other on a deeper level. A lot of people don't even want to have sex anymore. After 2020, people's like, I'm so done with sex. I just really need to like understand what is more. What do you have more than sex now? A lot of people is really like asking each other passive aggressively in ways too. Like, what more do you have to give me? And a lot of people are acting out in different ways, passive aggressively, because they want more than sex. They want a way deeper connection. You know, a lot of people is tired of just like the act of sex. If I want to have sex with someone, I want to be able to teleport to the gods. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like,
mm.
I don't want to like waste my time on surface level connecting
Oh,
emotions
yes.
anymore. And a
That's the
lot of
next
people
thing, wasting time.
wasting time. And we're gonna have to get there emotionally with ourselves first to even experience sexual experiences like that. And like someone says, so many people are traumatized in a household with molestation as a child. So we don't know what a healthy relationship with that sexual energy is supposed to be like as well.
Mm.
And sometimes we men have to redefine ourselves to become that man that plays his role within our nation again and be functional and proper within his role again. Very important that we give everyone a chance to redefine themselves.
Oh,
Very
yes.
important. And that's where forgiveness is so heavy. We got to start literally forgiving people. Like our hearts as a people is so sometimes like a fibroid heart. We have hearts of fibroids crystallized with inflammation of situations, and we don't want to forgive. And that shit is just blocking the building nation. It is really blocking us building with each other. If you don't want to work with someone or be someone's friend anymore, silently and peacefully leave. You don't got to talk
Mm.
about that person in a bad way anymore. You don't have to bring that person down outside to the community. Just quietly. I've learned my lesson with being very messy and trying to outburst a situation instead of kind of silently bowing down and saying, I'm going to take this L, but it's not an L. And I'm not saying L as a loss, L as a lesson. And I'm
Facts.
going to wear that shit around my neck like pearls for wisdom.
Facts.
Okay? Like, we got to start giving each other that much respect.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If we're going to do
I
build a
mean,
nation, that is
I mean,
respect.
just like
Peace.
Lauren Hill said,
Mm-hmm.
respect is just the minimum.
Come on.
Just the minimum.
Come
So
on.
at least give me that.
At least.
Mm.
You know, and that's where it starts. We got to start respecting each other as a man, as a woman, and as a woman, we got to really big our men up. Ain't who else is bigging them out here? We got to big them up. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And as women, we have to big ourselves up first for a man to big us up. As women, it's not the other way around. You don't get a big up from a man and that makes you a woman. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as a woman, you got to big yourself up for men to even acknowledge. A lot of men are doing very important things in this world. Men build shit in this world. Men
Right.
make shit happen. The only reason why women are functioning in this world with these cars and these buildings and these toilets and these sinks is because
We
men
built it.
build
Mm-hmm.
that shit and mostly
We
are the
built
ones
it.
keeping it functioning. So at least we have to, as women, give that much respect. And as feminine, We need the men to respect that we can see and feel things, that we know things that they may not know and feel. We can actually heal your body from the top to the toes of your feet. We can give you that nurturing energy that can make you feel like you can conquer the world. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta give each other that respect and recognition. Just forgave
Indeed.
my parents yesterday after dreaming I would the day before it happened, so that they literally ran to the hug with comforting words and good energy. We slept better. Look at that's beautiful. Ran by my man, but the woman kept the temple. Come on now.
Mm.
Respect.
Yes, yes, family. Word, word. Yes, so let me know if you have any more questions or concerns. We're about to conclude this live,
Yes.
unfortunately. It's been
Hmm.
what, close about 2 hours now?
Yes. Instagram be letting me rock on the low.
Huh?
Instagram be letting me rock on the low.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, they banned me. They blocked me for the time being, but you know, I'm gonna be back up and
You
running
look,
soon.
we here. They ain't blocking
Right,
nothing.
exactly.
They ain't blocking nothing.
Exactly.
Women be
So
doing
I
some
do
good.
have one more question for you, beloved.
Yes.
So so what does being a sacred woman mean to you?
Oh man. What does being a sacred woman means to me? I would say this: a chance to hold my head up, and to hold it up with dignity, to hold it up with some class, to hold it up with some polarity, to hold it up with some lessons, to be able to walk into spaces and understand that I don't have to pretend who I am as a woman in this world. And I don't have to put on a show and put on a mask. I am the light that light in the darken. Okay. Like it's just, I'm just, it's a privilege in this lifetime, especially
Mm,
how I grew up. I grew up um, a woman that was already stereotyped. I should have been a prostitute. I should have been a stripper. I should have been out in the streets. You know, I should have been doing something that
yeah, me
have no
too.
business doing. I should have been that woman. Trust me. I was out on my own at 19 years old, living in Bushwick. And Bushwick at that time, a decade ago, it was wild out there. And I met
Mm,
some really crazy people. But there was women and men in my bloodline that watched over me, and they guided this path for me. So I'm on a path of my ancestors. I'm on a path of my bloodline. I don't do this for a show. I don't do this to pretend I know much. I'm always a student teacher. However, my ancestors and my bloodline dedicated their blood for me to be here. Their bones are in the ground for me to be here. Their spirits are in the ether for me to be here, to walk in this path. And every day I wake up, it is my duty to serve them, and to make my name, like everybody keep forgetting, your last name means something. All these businesses are last names. Your name means something, so make it count. So that's definitely what it means to be a sacred woman to me, and definitely to love on my community. You know, like it's not easy always, but the reward in your private, people can understand. Do this work not for the show. Do it because in your private life, you will be rewarded by your ancestors and by the
mm,
Most Highs. Okay? You will be rewarded. Trust me. Keep doing what you're doing as well. Thank you, everyone,
yes,
for this
yes,
time.
yes.
Like, thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome, man, man. I just want to say awesome. Thank you so much for again, man, just bestowing and gracing us with your beauty, but just more than that, with your intellect, with your wisdom. You have taught us so much within a span of these couple of hours. And I really do appreciate that. We appreciate that as well. And keep gracing us with your womb circles. Keep healing us because we need healing. And you are definitely carrying the torch that Nana, Queen Afua, has passed on to you.
Hmm.
So keep up the great work. And I know it will only get better from here.
Thank you
It
so
will only
much.
get better from here.
I appreciate
So
it. Thank you.
Yes, yes, that's it. So again, I thank you. Thank you, family. Again, please follow the good sister. Follow the good sister. Definitely, if you are tapping in from my end, from my platform, tapping with the good sister, RosZella L. And yeah, follow her. Click the link in her bio. Also, you should be coming out with an ebook. You should be coming out with the ebook at the very least.
Maybe you can help me with that. I
You
definitely been learning to ask for
you
help.
have a great story to tell.
Okay.
You have a great story to tell. And all of us have a great story to tell, right? And so at this very moment, you are writing the chapter in your book.
Mm,
You don't know it yet,
I
but you
received
are.
that. Thank you. I received that.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank
So
you.
yes, thank you, beloved, again for gracing us with your intellect and with your supreme wisdom. Again, follow the sister. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Go to YouTube, type in DTR 360 Books, subscribe. Also click the link in my bio, man, because we all should be enthusiastic and excited about reading,
Yes.
as I am. And as I always say, a reading people is a rising people.
Come on
So
now.
let's rise.
Yes.
I leave you as I greeted you. Assalamu alaikum,
Merkanu.
shalom, shalom, hotep, Islam, alafia, peace.
Peace. Let me see.